Hey everyone, it's Hobo4Craft, aka Mr.Hobo, and we've got another professional replay today. Lynn versus ReMinD, Orc versus 9-Elf. Lynn, of course, the blue Orc spawning on the left side of Echo Isle, and ReMinD, the orange 9-Elf spawning on the right side. We have Orc versus 9-Elf as a request from, I believe his name is pronounced tayntroy, but I'm not sure. It looks like ReMinD will be Ancient of War creeping. I believe tayntroy wanted Orc versus 9-Elf so he could see why players do the things they do, how they do it, maybe get some insight. So I'm going to try and give that to him. So bear with me if I go over some newbie things, but I'm going to try and help this guy out. Anyway, it looks like a pretty standard build for Lynn as well. The whole purpose of Ancient of War creeping is so that you have the Ancient of War take all the damage instead of your hero or your other units. It doesn't really matter. And it also deals a lot of damage, so it's much more efficient in killing creeps. That means you can do other things much faster. For example, on this map especially, it's very common for the Demon Hunter, right after he gets the last hit on this Ogre Warrior here, to travel over here where the BM and probably a Grunt is creeping and try and do some harassment there. So we might see that this game as well, so I could go over that. But anyway, both of these players, very good players, very top notch, and I believe it's going to be a good match. It looks like we've got a scout, two scouts. We got a second peon here traveling to about the center of the map. Maybe he wants to see if ReMinD's getting a tavern hero, or maybe he's going to be putting down a shop in the middle of the map just because we haven't seen a shop go up at his main base yet. It looks like ReMinD is pulling with the creep here, and you can see that these creeps are instantly aggroing to this Ancient of War, and all he has to do is eat a tree and all of its life will just regenerate, so you don't even need a wisp to repair it. And the Demon Hunter just about to pop out, and you can see this very low, and he waits for his Demon Hunter to pop out to kill the creep with his archer, not the Ancient of War, because if you kill it with the Ancient of War, then you will not get experience for that. So that's the only thing you have to be wary of. So it looks like he got a circlet, very good first drop, and right after he does, he goes right over here, just like I said, to harass Lynn here. Looks like Lynn gets a Gloves of Haste. Very good drop for Blade Master, especially on his first creep. And maybe he will be able to pick this off, but no, the Grunt does get the last hit on it. And what would be ideal is for ReMinD to get off a few mana burns on the Blade Master here while harassing, but he wasn't able to do that because Lynn, as soon as he saw that Demon Hunter, just walked away, which is what you should do if you're an Orc. It looks like, yes, he did build a Voodoo Lounge in the middle of the map, and now he's going to maybe go to the shop here. He's kind of chilling out at the tavern. Looks like he's just healing up here and gonna windwalk before ReMinD sees him, but I believe ReMinD maybe heard it, so but it looks like he's going to be creeping this blue Ogre Magi, or Magi. I've never been sure how that's pronounced. Just waiting for the solve to wear off, and he will be attacking this, but I believe ReMinD realized this, was waiting for it in fact, and now Lynn will just walk away, but oh no, ReMinD's Demon Hunter gets trapped, and Lynn's just waiting here, probably gonna kill him. Oh, this is bad for ReMinD already, and he's gonna try and fight his way out, but he's taking so much damage, and I think Lynn might get a hero kill really early on, so this is bad for him, but ReMinD decides to use his TP, because he probably knew that Lynn was just waiting there with his BM, and now Lynn does kill this Ogre Magi and gets a Wand of Mana Stealing, so we'll probably sell that off. But just very unlucky for ReMinD there. Tried to do some harassing, but it did the exact opposite and completely backfired on him. So that's something early game that can really catch up to haunt you. Not having a TP, that's 350 gold if you want to buy another, which could be 2 Druid of the Talons later on in the game. Which it does look like he is going Druid of the Talons just by his build. You can see that he can fit an Ancient of Wonder here and here, that's very good architecture there. I don't know, placement. And looks like Lynn just creeping this bottom shop here, and we've got ReMinD who actually finished off this creep here with just his Demon Hunter and Archer. You can see how much of a tank Demon Hunter can be. So, and it looks like third burrow going up, and very very offensive build by Lin. So you probably know he's anticipating dots, which does stand for Druid of the Talons, just because offensive burrows do very well against dots when the Night Elf is pushing into the base. And it looks like Lin is just creeping all over the map, taking ReMinD's creeps here. And it looks like ReMinD actually did put down another Ancient War here, so we're going to see more creeping. He does get his Beastmaster, which is what you are supposed to get with this Druid of the Talon makeup. And you see he has put 2 Ancient of Winds down and it instantly teched to tier 3 because he wants that Cyclone. The reason you want to get Cyclone is because then you can just keep the opponent's heroes and other important units in the air for the whole time. And looks like Lin is going to come over and maybe creepjack, but ReMinD does dust and wards him off with who I wonder who got that. I believe it was Lin who got that creep. I was gonna say who's gonna get this, but I think Lin did, just because Beastmaster would have more experience. But like I was saying, Cyclone just keeps units in the air. And the reason you want to get a Spirit Lodge if you're Orc is because you want Disenchant for your Spirit Walkers, because they dispel the Cyclone, and also the Fairy Fire, which is very important because it gives you ability to see invisible units such as the Blade Master, and it takes away their armor. It takes away a lot of armor, so they take a lot of extra damage, especially from that magic damage, which most Orc ground units have heavy armor, which take extra damage from magic attack. So with that Fairy Fire, it's extra damage from this 11 to 13 Druid of the Talon damage. And it looks like Lin once again spots ReMinD while he is creeping. Very unlucky for ReMinD here, or very, I don't know if it's luck, because Lin's just that experienced, knows the timing of the map very well. It looks like ReMinD's not going to get any of this creep, just doing all the work for Lin here, which is how it should be if you're an Orc player. So Lin's playing this very well. It looks like Demon Hunter's not going to get level 3 here. So very good delay of Demon Hunter getting level 3 there by Lin. It looks like